The history of coffee dates back centuries and is deeply intertwined with the cultures and trade of several regions across the world. Its origins are steeped in legend, and the story of its spread to the wider world is one of both intrigue and commerce. The Legend of Coffe. One of the most famous legends surrounding the discovery of coffee originates from Ethiopia. The story is said to have occurred around the 9th century and centers on a young goat herder named Coffe. Coffe noticed that his goats became unusually energetic after eating the red berries from a certain tree. Curious, he tried the berries himself and experienced a similar burst of energy. Coffe shared his discovery with a local monk who made a drink from the berries. The monk, after consuming the drink, found that it helped him stay awake during long prayer sessions. The discovery of this energizing drink soon spread to other monks, and eventually word spread beyond Ethiopia. From Ethiopia to the Arabian Peninsula. Though Ethiopia is considered the birthplace of coffee, it was in the Arabian Peninsula, particularly in Yemen, that coffee began to be cultivated and traded extensively. By the 15th century, coffee was being grown in Yemen and used by Sufi monks to stay awake during their nighttime devotions. The drink was referred to as kahwa, which originally meant wine or other intoxicating drinks in Arabic. It became a staple among these monks who brewed coffee from roasted beans and brewed it as a dark, energizing beverage. Coffee soon spread from Yemen to the broader Arabian world, reaching Mecca and Medina by the 16th century. It became an integral part of social and cultural life. The first coffee house, called a kahvekhane, opened in Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, in 1555. These establishments became places for intellectual discussion, entertainment, and socializing, contributing to coffee's rise as a cultural and social symbol. The spread to Europe. Coffee's journey to Europe began in the 16th century. Initially, coffee was introduced to Venice in 1615 through trade with the Ottoman Empire. The beverage, however, truly gained popularity in the 17th century, especially in the form of the first coffee house opening in London in 1652. Coffee houses became meeting places for political and intellectual discourse, and it wasn't long before coffee became a widely consumed drink throughout Europe. In England, these establishments were referred to as penny universities due to the discussions and ideas that flowed within them, often more valuable than the price of a cup of coffee. In France, coffee became closely associated with French intellectualism, and its popularity grew during the reign of Louis XIV. Coffee was eventually introduced to the French colonies in the Caribbean and South America, where it became an important agricultural product. Coffee in the New World. The New World's involvement with coffee began when it was brought to the Caribbean, Central, and South America during the colonial era. By the 18th century, coffee was being cultivated in Brazil, which would go on to become the largest producer of coffee globally. As the demand for coffee grew in Europe and the Americas, the cultivation of coffee expanded to other regions, often using slave labor on plantations. This dark side of coffee's history is tied to the transatlantic slave trade, as coffee production was labor-intensive and a source of significant profits for colonial powers. The rise of coffee in the modern world. The 19th and 20th centuries saw the rise of coffee as a global commodity. Coffee became more accessible thanks to improvements in transportation, including steamships and railroads. The invention of the coffee press in the 19th century allowed for more efficient brewing methods, and by the early 20th century, coffee was being sold in packaged forms, such as pre-ground coffee, which revolutionized how people consumed the drink at home. Coffee also became a key product for major companies like Starbucks, which was founded in 1971 in Seattle. Starbucks and other coffee chains that followed helped transform coffee into a cultural and commercial phenomenon, changing the way people enjoyed coffee around the world. In the latter half of the 20th century, coffee consumption saw a shift from just a simple daily beverage to a complex culture and art form, with the rise of espresso-based drinks like lattes, cappuccinos, and macchiatos. The specialty coffee movement, which emphasizes high-quality, ethically sourced beans and artisanal brewing techniques, further popularized coffee. Conclusion. Today, coffee is one of the most widely consumed beverages in the world, with over 2.25 billion cups consumed daily. From its humble beginnings as a mystical drink in the Ethiopian highlands to its status as a global commodity, coffee has left an indelible mark on human culture. It has evolved from a religious stimulant to a sophisticated social drink enjoyed by millions worldwide.